When I feel calm, it helps me listen to what the teacher is saying.
It helps me make better choices and decisions.
I feel more comfortable in social situations.
I know what I can say and do to be a good friend.
I understand that sometimes my actions can hurt other people. I am more able to see the perspective of my friends.
When I feel mad, I know how to calm myself.
Social Emotional Learning, or SEL, is critical to everything we do and every interaction we have. It advances educational equity and establishes learning environments that feature trusting relationships and meaningful curriculum, instruction, and evaluation. SEL is the third goal in the Greater Victoria District Strategic Plan, highlighting its importance as a protective factor for mental wellness. This video resource was created to support goal number 3 by inspiring conversations and practices that create thriving school communities. The Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning model, a well-researched and universally recognized framework, highlights SEL's role in education and human development.
Social emotional learning encompasses the 5 different domains, which include self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, good decision-making skills, and building relationships.
Social emotional learning looks at the connection between the classroom, the school, and the community as a whole.
In the Indigenous Education Department, we have often used 3 specific models for social emotional learning frameworks that have an Indigenous lens. The medicine wheel is one. The Circle of Courage through Dr. Martin Brokenleg, and also the Developmental Assets Model through the Search Institute are all frameworks that are a holistic look at an individual. You can use the First Peoples Principles of Learning framework for any curriculum that you're delivering, and most especially social emotional learning.
We honor the variety of ways that SEL is presently being brought to life in our schools. Support is available for the implementation of evidence-based classroom programs, including Second Step, Mental Health Literacy, EASE, YMCA Teen Mindfulness Group, and Physical Literacy. Daily efforts to incorporate SEL can foster youth voice, agency, and engagement. These skills are the door to becoming caring, contributing, and resilient young people and adults.
My very favorite way of bringing SEL into my classroom is using and really going with the teachable moments. So modeling that I care about what's going on with them, and that it's important to address conflicts and issues and emotions as they come up.
I have an ample selection of self-regulation tools in my class that the students are given access to whenever they need them.
I have daily check-ins where they will come in and just check in with me in the morning, let me know how their evening was last night, how they're feeling this morning, so on and so forth, and that just sort of establishes a bond for the day.
The classroom provides boundless opportunities to build SEL skills, such as relationship, communication, collaboration, perseverance, self-awareness, and self-advocacy.
What we've been working on is noticing when are we doing our best learning, and so the students actually came to me and said, we don't do our best learning in block 1 for math, we do it best after movement or a gym block, and so they've actually did it in a very diplomatic way of negotiating doing math at the end of the day, and so that's when they say they learn best, and so it's been neat to see them being self-aware and advocating for what works best for them as learners. I really think it's important that with the social emotional learning that it's built into the day. If things arise as big emotions do, that you help students draw on their own strategies and tools, and you're really sitting side by side with them, helping them work through their challenge.
The very best professional development I've ever done in my career so far is my work around mindfulness and social emotional learning. And to have a model, a role model that is able to show us what it looks like when we're frustrated, but we cannot just react, that we can be calm through it.
That idea of being a model seriously and taking the idea of like a dysregulated adult will never regulate a child.
I think it's really important that I'm walking the talk, and I'm also expressing challenges that I come up against and how I work through them.
Developing authentic partnerships with families and community deepens the SEL that happens at school.
We clearly communicate with parents and community support workers that this is our approach, this is our focus, and this is how we address and look to unpack problems. And that creates further common language, and that creates further unity within the community.
We can bring the parents on board and their perspective, and then also share the learning of what we're noticing and what they're noticing. It's all hands on deck, and I think that's best for kids.
Our strategic plan highlights SEL as a protective factor for mental health, linked to curricular core competencies, and aligns with First People's principles of learning. SEL leads to improved educator well-being, supports student learning and engagement, and facilitates healthy relationships.
How does SEL live in your school?